Mighty One, foremost of the goddesses, ruler in heaven, queen on earth, all the gods are under her command. Inscription in the Temple of Isis. In the beginning, Isis was a child of Father Earth and Mother Sky, and grew into the being she was expected to be. Ruler of land, queen of the people, she guided all things into harmony and abundance. With Osiris, there was love, the way their father and mother had loved, as was expected. Osiris flooded the land, activating its potential. All things grew, brought forth, withered, and died by his guiding hand. Osiris was the seasons and taught the cycles of change to the people. Isis ensured all was as it should be. In this ebbing and flowing, Osiris was away as much as he was present, and it was good, as it made their love ever fresh like newlyweds. But one day, the vultures came to Isis on her throne and spoke of real death. Set, the brother of Osiris, was also about change, but his gifts were drawn to chaos, disruption, destruction of systems, and the ending of order. He had become jealous of Osiris, of his power and position. Set challenged Osiris in battle, and like a stalk of wheat, Osiris was cut down. Isis searched the wind for a whisper of his heartbeat and found nothing. Instead, she heard funeral rites far off in the distance. She unfolded her wings and flew to the sound. Humans were performing funeral rites over a tree. Within was the body of Osiris. Isis felt her power gather with her emotions. Ever practical, she had no time for energy or revenge, but instead felt sadness and loss and grief for her beloved. She cut down the tree and had it fashioned into a box to house the body of Osiris, then returned them both to her temple. Isis began to prepare the magics necessary to revive her love and return everything to the way it was. But not even a goddess can remove experience once it's been had. What is done cannot be undone, and what is changed can be transformed, but it cannot be made new. While she worked, Set stole the body of Osiris and sought to end her plans once and for all by chopping up the body. He scattered it all across their father, the earth, never to be found. Meanwhile, Isis struggled within herself, discovering she too was changing. Her grief, unchecked and unsupported, turned to anger, which, unacknowledged, lashed out at women with living husbands and children. For a moment in time, she became the opposite of who she had been, the antithesis of what was expected. She was unable to rule or even be kind. She could see and feel nothing but herself and her bitterness. She took this out on those who had what she did not. "Who am I?" echoed within her and throughout the temple. Something new began to unfold within her, slowly, infinitesimally, which had nothing to do with what had gone before. Setting this aside, she forced herself to go through with the magics and preparations to restore Osiris, only to find she had been betrayed again. Chaos had stolen her husband, and all that had been was lost. Isis launched herself on wings of determination. The winds and the birds told her of Set's actions, and she went in search of her beloved. As the clouds caressed her feathers and the sun gilded her skin, this thing within her unfurled further. This thing was becoming a knowing that she wanted Osiris not simply to return to how things had been, but to create a life and a family of her own. As she searched, she began to manifest a partner, one who was who and what she wanted. Strong, capable hands willing to work and yet be loving. Legs willing to walk the realm with her, but also flexible enough to stay centered and grounded. She found a head full of ideas and made sure it had common sense and room for conversation and humor. She found his heart and heard her secret self murmured in its beating. Finally, she had all of him, all but one piece, his genitals. She saw this as a good omen and returned to the temple. There she fashioned new genitals of the most precious gold, sun made solid, the divine brought to life. Perfect for them both, a connection which would give her great pleasure in the centuries to come, as well as create children to people the heavens. Rising on her wings, she hovered over Osiris and used her powers to return him to wholeness. Thus she manifested a partner of her choosing, no longer confined within expectations or assumptions. And so they reigned together, transformed by chaos into mature rulers. Living examples of an ever-growing partnership filled with healthy change and the magic of rebirth.